Hey guys, welcome back to Owoh's Corner. And it is Black History Month. And I feel like I have to make at least one video for Black History Month because, well, if you guys haven't noticed it yet, I am black. So, I mean, I might as well. Um, so, so I was really young when I decided to do art. Initially, I wanted to be a game designer. I wanted to design video games because the first video game I picked up, I was awe-inspired and it felt like that's what I wanted to do with my life. But then as I grew older and as I dipped my hands into different fields, I discovered that, game designing, it's good, but what I really want to do was to tell stories. And I felt like animation and drawing was a huge factor into that. And then I also just fell in love with the concept of drawing, of doing art and making characters move and stuff like that. So then I decided to become an animator. So still down that same track of creativity, but I changed it to animation instead of game design. In game design, I heard that it was very competitive. Animation is competitive too. It's hard to get into college for animation, but in my personal opinion, animation feels easier. So when I was in high school, I took a lot of design classes. I took digital media, advanced digital media, then I took a personal course. It wasn't a free period. It was like a independent studies course where, yes, technically I was in a graphic design digital media class, sort of focused on their own things. We made our own curriculums. We made our own projects that we did and we spent time on. And that was where I did a bunch of animation projects. Like, I rotated a box, I storyboarded an animation, I did a few stickman animations, even though they were basic. And then I actually had gotten my ACA in Animate and Premiere Pro. And for those of you who don't know what an ACA is, ACA stands for Adobe Certified Associate. It's around, I want to say, maybe 50 questions, around 50 questions, where you do it through Centuryport, and basically you have to sort of prove your aptitude with the software that you're using. So I was dropped in front of like a computer generated animate program, and they would ask me stuff like, how do I make a new layer, or show me how to make a masking layer, show me how to draw this, show me where the circle button is, show me where the brush is. Questions like that. And it was fairly easy. I did have to study for it, and I did have to get a familiarity with the program. But it was one of those exams where the more you got right, the less questions you had to take. So it took me about half an hour to complete, but I passed it my first try. And then after that, I studied Premiere Pro, and I failed Premiere Pro at first, but after some more testing and some more studying and some more actually using the software, I then passed it. And so that's when I got my certified associates in Animate and Premiere Pro. And you guys have heard this from my previous videos, but I was very insecure about my art, and if it wasn't an assignment for class, then I just wouldn't post it on my YouTube channel. And so I was in that rut where I felt like I had to be a perfect artist, a perfect drawer, before I even started posting my actual work. But then I got out of it, and then I want to say about 2.5 years ago, that's when I started a YouTube channel, and these past few months I've been trying to post consistently, and that's good. You guys also know from my previous videos that I have faced some difficulty with the animation concentration of my college, of my university. I kept getting rejected, and I and so basically I had to submit a portfolio of my work, and I supported my portfolio 3 times. I was rejected 3 times, and even though I had asked my teachers what specifically was wrong with my portfolio, they were very vague. And then I had to get the dean of students involved, and then we had to have a sit down meeting, and the teachers, they gave me my previous project outlines, and they said make sure I have every piece of process work and every final project on my portfolio project. I went over, I want to say about I went over about 10 or 15 projects over the past 2.5 years, and I made sure that every piece of process work that I had done and worked on was on my portfolio. I made sure it was organized. I separated categories by class, by personal projects, and by college work, and even high school work too. I then even told my teachers that I had my ACA and that I was doing projects on the side and that I had projects from high school, and I was still rejected the 3rd time. So then I decided to just get my college studies degree and make my own degree that I can have, because I'm already 3 years in. At the time of recording this, I'm still a junior. So I want to leave with some kind of degree. I don't want to feel like my time was wasted. So, yeah. That's my life. That's sort of a mini biography of my life, of why I wanted to be an animator. And I found a lot of cool inspirations at the time. When I was in middle school and high school, I would watch a bunch of stickman fight animations, and I also found Monty Ohm's work. For those of you who don't know who Monty Ohm is, he created Ruby, and he did a lot of the beginning fight animations for Ruby between Volume 1 and Volume 3, and then you can also see some of his work for the later volume fights. Like, they had recycled some of his old work, and some of the work that he was working on previously, they sort of incorporated into the future volumes. So they're not really... So for some of their future fights, they were making it from scratch, but for others, they had bits and pieces of Monty's old works. Monty, he's known for his Dead Fantasy series, where he had characters from Dead or Alive and Final Fantasy fighting together. And then he also had Haloid, where it had Master Chief versus Samus, which was also really cool. And as I continue to work on my 2D art, I also find other inspirations that sort of keep me moving, like Dylan Gu and his different animations, Mark Zhang. I really like the stories of certain animes and animations and cartoons. I grew up on Code Lyoko. I love myself some Code Lyoko. I love Pokemon. I didn't watch a lot of Dragon Ball Z, but recently I've been watching it. I grew up on Naruto. I grew up on One Piece. I actually caught up with One Piece. Those are my big inspirations. And it's just, since I've been young, I've always loved animation. I've always loved action. That's what I want to do. I want to tell a story. And I became an animator. I became an artist because I want to tell my own stories. Because I want to give people some action to watch. Because I just felt inspired by so many different animators and designers in the craft. I just love animation. I want to do my own stuff. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I love to do. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm pushing to do. And that's what this channel is for. I'm working on stuff on the side while also managing my schoolwork and stuff like that. I signed up for a bunch of animation internships, and if I don't get them, I'm still going to be doing animations and stuff like that. I just want to tell stories. I want to give people a slice of action in their day. This is what I love to do. This is what I love doing. And you know, not a lot of black people are actually into animation. Not a lot of, well, black people like to watch anime and we like animation, but I don't often see a lot of black animators. So I feel like, you know, I just want to, I don't have to make it big, but as long as I can reach my goal, I'd be happy. As long as I can show the thing about being black, the thing about being African American is at times we're often told that the only way to get ahead is if you play a sport or if you sing. And I'm not trying to knock on those people who choose to do that. I'm just saying I want to show black people, men, women, boys, and girls, that you don't have to do hair if you don't want to. You don't have to play a sport if you don't want to. You don't have to sing if you don't want to. There are a bunch of things that you can do and that you can choose to do. And we can do art, we can do animation, we can do a whole bunch of stuff. When I get farther ahead, I actually plan on opening my own animation studio in Raleigh, because Raleigh doesn't really have a lot of animation studios. One of the things that I kind of dislike is that people feel like they have to move to LA or move to Florida in order to get work done, and that shouldn't be how it is. You shouldn't have to spend $250,000 just to pay for college and just to move to another state to where you don't even know if you're going to get a job or not. You don't even know if you're going to get scouted or whatever. I want to open up chances. I want to show people that you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. I want to show people that you can find your own way and that you can have your own way to do things and to hone your craft and to get ahead. There's more than one way to do things. You don't have to do what you're expected to do. You can do more. I just found what I love to do and I want to keep doing it. I want to push for it. I want to get ahead. I don't have to have 1 million views, but I would just like to know that there are people who see what I'm doing and that they like it. Anyway, that's been my video. This has been Owoh's Corner, my own little corner of art. And I'll see you in my next one.